Alright, gonna do a video. Sometimes I get asked if I'm gonna do question and answer kind of stuff, and my answer to that is no. I do Q&Os, questions and opinions, because I don't feel I got the answer to anything. Start off being on camera, even though I don't really like being on camera. Look, real person. So one of the questions that gets asked a lot is, if you solo RV, you're gonna get lonely. So that question is difficult to answer because it's kind of yes and kind of no. For me, it's mostly no, but it really depends on the kind of person you are. Because just realize, just because you decide to go solo RVing, that doesn't mean you're still not the same person you always were. You know, you're not going to become a different person just because you're in the RV. So I'm going to ramble about that, but that's enough of me being on camera. So I'll ramble at this spot and then we'll move someplace else for a different background. I think it's much better when you're looking at something more interesting than my face. So I will say the first part is your personality is the key, in my opinion. If you are introverted, it might be a little difficult for you, but if you're real extroverted, it might be harder for you. Because if you need a lot of the same people in your life every day, well, obviously solo RVing is going to be difficult for that. I think for myself, I'm somewhere in a little bit of both, you know, because I say time and time again on my videos, I talk to people all the time. I just don't put them on camera. So I would assume my videos look like I'm very solitary, and that's not true. So what I think you'll need to be able to do is to find that balance between your ability to meet new people and to talk to new people, and your desire to have the familiar people in your life a lot. All right, we're gonna move locations. There's just too much noise here. This is an abandoned business or something. It's kind of cool. All right, so I moved to a different area, a little quieter, which will be better. The downside is I'll end up wanting to restate things I already said before, and then I'll have to edit it, but I'll figure it all out. But solo RVing is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not a lonely thing. But it's how you make it work for you. I tend to do campgrounds, as I've said many times, because I like people. I don't put them on camera, but I like people. So I'm not isolated at all from people, because I like power pets. I've said all this in other videos. But I like people too. I like to be around people. There are many people that do the BLM land or do forest land where they're out in the middle of nowhere solo by themselves and not having a lot of interaction with people. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're worried about loneliness, if you're going in worrying about being lonely and thinking that's the way you should RV, you're probably not going to be happy with that, you know, because first, starting with, you're worried about being lonely, and then you put yourself in a situation where you have no choice but to be away from people. So there's that. And now, enough of me on camera again. I'm going to find another spot and let you look at something. Maybe that lake, you know, it's a great big lake. Okay, I'm going to try to make thoughts that make some kind of sense. So my advice to start out is two main kinds of advice. First is know what kind of RV you need. That's the most important thing if you're going to go RV. And the second part is know how you want to RV. And that ties in with solo RVing. If you're a person that needs a lot of human interaction, don't put yourself in a situation where you're not around a lot of people, because you won't be happy. If you're the kind of person that needs the familiar people in your life a lot, then solo RVing is hard for you. If you're a person who likes meeting new people, talking to new people, this is a great way to do it. Because, you know, if you're at a campground, if you're at a forest, if you're at anywhere where there's other RVers, you start out with one thing in common. You both have an RV and you have something to talk about. There's lots of ways to do it, but you have to first be honest with yourself to know what kind of person you are and put yourself in a position to succeed. For example, myself. If I watch some other people that love to be out remote, BLM land, away from everybody. I can do that for a couple days, and then that's just not me. And I would be very unhappy trying to do that. I see some people that do it and themselves get unhappy because they miss their friends. Well, my logic is don't put yourself in a situation where you're gonna think you're all alone. If you begin thinking you're all alone, then you're not having fun. There are times when I go a couple days and I don't see another person, and that's cool when it's cool. When it's not cool, I turn the key and move to where I can get back around people. So the fear of loneliness is better stated as a fear of isolation. Know yourself. There are tricks you can do. If you're a solo person, then solo RVing isn't that much different. You know, you're used to being solo. It just comes down to being around familiar people, whether you can give that up. I've been on this trip over 2 months and got asked recently, are you homesick? No, no. And there's people that I care about, but I'm not homesick. This is what I want to be doing. If you're a person that 2 months you would be getting homesick, then A, it's not for you, or B, your trips can't be 2 months. You know, your trips can be as long as you're happy doing it. Some of the easy tricks that most people already know, when I'm traveling and I go to restaurants, because I like to eat, food's important to me, always sit at the bar. Always do the best I can to be seated at the bar. Because if you want to talk to somebody, A, there's always a bartender, you know, and B, there's other people that sit at the bar that you can have conversations with. And those places are where you meet people and get ideas of what an area is like, places to see, places to do. Sometimes you'll meet people you hang out with for a while, you know. But if you go to a restaurant, and now phones are the new books. It used to be when somebody was single, if they went out in public, they were so ashamed to be eating single that they read a book, you know, and they wouldn't look up. And now they use their phone. Look, I'm important. People care about me. That doesn't bother me. I don't mind going places alone. If you do, this might be tough for you. But put that down, just like in real life. You know, don't get me started on cell phones, but pay attention to the people you're around. Put your cell phone down. Talk to the people around you. You will learn a lot, and you won't feel isolated. If you do things to interact with other human beings, you won't feel lonely. You won't feel as isolated. All right, I'm going to pause and think. Look that way because you deserve something different to look at. So, there's a trick way to interact with people. But again, much of this boils down to your personality. If talking to strangers is not for you, solo RVing might not be for you because you're by yourself. You know, there's no familiar people. If that's what you're worried about. If you want to be Grizzly Adams out in the middle of nowhere in your RV, cool. But you're obviously not worried about solo RVing then. Pets. For a lot of people, the answer is pets. Again, I've said many times, I never planned on cats, let alone 2. But when you're solo, a pet can be really helpful. There are times I wish I had a dog to go hiking with, you know, that kind of stuff. But pets give you something waiting back for you at your RV, you know, and something to talk at. And if you've seen mine, I have one that talks more than I do. But pets are a good answer for a lot of people. I think it appears that most solo RVers have a pet. There must be something to that. I had the pets before the RVs, but pets is a good answer if you have a pet. They will help you when you have those moments. Because, you know, even though I'm a pretty outgoing person, to a line, I guess, but there are times on your travels in life that, sure, loneliness is going to happen for a little bit, but you can wallow in it or you can go meet people. The wind is picking up. Dang it. This has been the wettest, rainiest, cool summer up here. Even all the locals can't get over how much it's rained. But hey, there's no forest fires up here. Wait for the wind and I'll think of more. Alright, we're going to find another spot because I think there's rain coming and maybe I can find a place that's not windy. Alright, here's another view. So combating the fear of loneliness when you're solo RVing. Again, it's really, to me, it's only a problem if you make it a problem. You know, if you try to put yourself in situations that are outside your comfort zone. If you try to tell yourself that I'm going to go in the middle of nowhere and not interact with people, and you're the type of extrovert that can't go 5 minutes without talking to somebody, you're not going to like this. But there are several ways. I said, when you go to campgrounds or anywhere where other people are doing similar things, RVing or tent camping or whatever you might be doing, there is like an unwritten kind of understanding when you walk by other people, when you say hi. If it's, hi, I'm going to sit down and have a beer with you, hi, I'm going to sit and talk to you for a couple minutes, or it's, hi, I'm just walking by. It's kind of weird that you kind of pick up on it really quick what people want to do, if they just want to say hi or if you want to have conversations. So I often find I probably talk to more people when I'm RVing than when I'm not. And I really don't think the fear of loneliness is that big an issue unless you are the type that really, really needs people all the time. You have your phone. You can always get a hold of your people. You know, we all have our people we need. Most places anymore you can get Wi-Fi and stay connected that way. I think for me, making these videos and posting these can be good because there's familiar people that I don't know, but I speak to and communicate with on YouTube that kind of helps me feel connected. Because one thing I don't want to do personally is to become disconnected, to disappear out in the middle of somewhere. That's not for me. There are other people that love to do that, but that's really not for me. A day or two and I need a people fix again. And that's why I always think I'm trying to show myself and every now and then a little bit more of people, because I really do interact with people so much, but I just don't like putting them on camera. I don't talk about the fact that I make YouTube videos when I'm out and about with people. I run across people who've seen the videos and we talk about it, but I never bring it up. It's not my thing. But if you were to make videos, there you have that. I think the other thing that many people fail to realize, again, I'm going to talk about campgrounds, and don't sell yourself short of that interaction, of the people you will meet along your travels. There are people you'll meet that, you know, you might talk to for 5 minutes, go, oh, thank God I got away from that person. Or you might sit and talk to all day, you know, and you may go do things with that person or people or groups of people. There are many YouTubers that I've seen that they like to caravan together. They like to do meetups and stuff like that. I think that's cool when people want to do that. So there's lots of options. And there's more thinking to happen. All right, I just thought, I'll give an example. I was in Ontonagon Township Park, and one of the days it rained all day long. I put on my raincoat and I went outside. But it was a weird day because I didn't really see anybody. Everybody else was inside their RV, so I didn't interact with people. And I didn't like that day very much. Not because I was caught in the rain, because I'm not staying in the RV. I got a raincoat. I'll go outside. But everybody else was. So it did feel isolated. I spent a lot of time talking to people. And you're meeting people in campgrounds are usually very friendly. Campgrounds are usually safe, secure. You know, every now and then you got some knucklehead who'll steal things. But it's funny that at campgrounds, most people don't bother with anybody else's stuff. And most people are nice and friendly and want to have a conversation. So if you're by yourself, you know, the first thing you'll get is, oh, you're all by yourself? You travel by yourself? Yeah, it's not that big a deal. Calm down. You know? And after that, you get to see that everybody's a normal person. And more people are traveling by themselves, which means more and more solo people to meet. And then maybe so that decreases the amount of soloness, right? So to totally sum it up, I will say my advice would be, because I don't have answers to anything. I have opinions, like I try to say at the beginning. In my opinion, if you're cognizant of the fear of being lonely and you want to RV, then you have to plan to RV in a way that does not isolate yourself. And once you do that, there's people to talk to. There's such a large community of people out there, of people on phones, on people online. If you can be gone for a week, a month from all the people you already know, if you can do that and meet new people and have conversations and have interactions, then solo RVing will not be difficult for you. If you're a person who will get homesick quickly for such and such a person, solo RVing might be difficult for you. If you're a person who occasionally can't go a day, maybe two, without really talking to anybody, solo RVing might be not for you. It's like life. It's not that different. You find ways to put your personality in the best situation for you. And I think it's a great thing. I have a lot of fun solo RVing. I don't have to argue about the radio with anybody, you know. I pick the music. I'm not having that. Well, the driver should always pick the music, but don't get me started on that. Some of the downsides, I've probably biked 600 miles on this trip, and sometimes it would be nice to have somebody to draft. Other than that, I'm fine with it. Yeah, so it probably made no sense whatsoever, but if you're a person that really wants to do this and your main worry is about being lonely, I don't think you have to worry about it. Just put yourself in a situation where you'll be successful. RV the way that will work for your personality, because then you'll have a great and wonderful day. That's it. That's all I got. Oh, crap. I got to go back. I left sunglasses somewhere. Dummy. I lose things all the time. But hope you enjoyed the view. And yeah, this trip is nearing an end. I've been solo RVing for 9 weeks, I think I'm at now. But I got a cell phone. I talk to some of the people I need to. And I meet people every day. And I talk to people every day. So don't worry. You can have a great and wonderful time if you solo RV.